Martin, you were watching today with the Commanders, the Commodores, whatever you want to call them, against the Cowboys, and Ron Rivera looks like he's on his last legs there. New ownership, they kept him around, but they're probably ready to make a change. But you have some ideas on this.
Let's be honest. I know our second to last caller had some interesting opinions that probably didn't make it over the air because they hit that dump button, but asking about Daniel Snyder. I think if Daniel Snyder had been more concerned with the goings-on of his football team, Ron Rivera probably would have been fired 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, the highlight of the Ron Rivera Commanders era was when Taylor Heineke almost scored a touchdown in the wild card against Tampa Bay, the year that Tampa ended up going on to win the Super Bowl, Tom Brady's first year as a Buccaneer. That was about it. So that was the playoffs of 2020, 2021. And since then, you've had highlights from Ron Rivera like, I didn't know Sam Howell was this good. I would have started him earlier. Or you may remember the classic last year with about week 15. Wait a minute. The Commanders were eligible for the playoffs still? And everybody's like, oh, he's joking around. I'm not sure. He might just be asleep at the wheel. But we've seen now Josh Harris, the new owner of the Commanders. We have insight to his ownership as, he's owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, moved on from Doc Rivers and acquired Nick Nurse, who was already obviously working for the Toronto Raptors.
He also hired Doc Rivers, which was shocking.
So there you go. But I assume that Ron Rivera is on the way out of the door. If not, I'd be shocked. But I think the Washington Commanders, especially when you consider they traded Chase Young for a third, as Jeff Rieger told us just a minute ago, and Montez Sweat for a second. I think they should package that first and second round. That second and third round pick together. I'll call New England up and trade for Bill Belichick. You move Bill Belichick into the NFC East, a division in which has been won by a different team since almost the last 20 years, if not more. A different team has won that division every single year. We'll see what happens this year if the Eagles are able to repeat or if the Cowboys can give them enough trouble. But the Commanders and the Giants obviously not in play. You end up going to one of the most influential and biggest markets in the country, Washington, D.C. It's the only place where the president goes and watches a game every year. The Commanders is guaranteed that he's going there.
Well, that and $2.50 will get you on the subway. What does that mean?
What it means is the Washington Commanders, and I don't know if $2.50 still gets you on the subway. It's 2023, champ. But the Washington Commanders
I was just in New York. What are you talking about?
Sleeping
get you on
giant.
The subway.
They're a sleeping giant in terms of the size of the media market they can attract and just the renovations to they're building a new stadium and all of that's coming with Josh Harris. If you want to make a splash, go get the greatest coach of all time right there. He's up there in New England. He's sitting there. They don't want him anymore. And I do think that a change in scenery would force Bill Belichick a little bit to look inside of himself and see some of the things that have allowed the New England situation to get as bad as it has over the last few years. He's not going to be able to go in anywhere he coaches next and just have the same impunity where he's hiring his sons, and because he's not going to have the same 20-year relationship and cachet that he would walking into anywhere else. Washington Commanders need to go get this done, and they have the second and third round pick to do it. Sean Payton got traded for a third round pick. Herm Edwards was a fourth round pick from the Jets to the Chiefs. Bruce Arians, when he was going from the Cardinals to the Buccaneers, all he did was a seventh round and sixth round swap. The Patriots do not want to fire Bill Belichick. They don't want to have that awkwardness coming out of the ring, like when he needs to go and be inducted into the Ring of Honor. They don't want that weirdness along they had borderline with Tom Brady for a few years until early this year when he came back. Commanders need to go get this done. And Josh Harris, final point, has the $6 billion to buy the Commanders. He's got the money to make it happen.
Could not disagree with you more. If I'm Bill Belichick, I'm not interested in Washington. I don't want to go down there. There are better jobs available. And if you have to give up top picks, where you don't have a quarterback. Sam Howell's okay.
What is he? Lead the league in pass yards.
That's okay.
That's it.
They don't win any games though.
He's tough as nails. That's it. Sacked 9 times.
He doesn't win any games. And my thing is, if you're Bill Belichick and you're going somewhere, and even Tom Brady came out and he was interviewed, I think by Stephen A. and he said, I just can't envision New England not having Bill Belichick. I'll believe it when I see it, when they part from him. But if they do, why wouldn't you want to go to the Chargers? They got a franchise quarterback. They got playmakers. That's a team that has talent that's underperforming.
You know, we keep saying that team has talent. I don't buy that the Chargers have talent.
You don't think they have a franchise quarterback? If you're Bill Belichick,
I think
let me ask you this: if you're Bill Belichick,
I think that's where it stops.
If you're Bill Belichick, you want to go to Sam Howell or Justin Herbert? What quarterback would you see what he's going through with Mac Jones and all these other guys that he has? Not having a quarterback in the NFL hurts you. It's hard to win without one.
But the way that people are
I'm
just
asking you, is that true?
Not I agree, but that's what the assumption that Belichick is into what Justin Herbert does and is. I don't think that necessarily. I shouldn't say this. I don't know it to be true, but I don't know it to not be true. I don't know, but what I do know is this: Sam Howell is on the second year of a rookie deal, and if you do not like Sam Howell, you can move on from Sam Howell.
Yeah, but you don't know. I mean, it's easy to say, "Oh, you go get somebody else." There's 20 teams in the NFL looking for somebody else. Ask the Jets. Ask all these teams. Ask the Steelers. There aren't quarterbacks laying around. Ask the Patriots. This is the problem. And if you have one in place, I'm just saying, if I'm Bill Belichick and I'm moving on. And the Chargers are open. Brandon Staley should be getting fired after this year. They shouldn't be 5-5 or wherever they are at this point. I'm saying I would rather go there. Washington, I hear you. Of course, it's a great city and all that, and they got an owner with deep pockets and all that. But you don't know. He got 5-6 years. Here you at least have a quarterback. If you could get the defense to be better. Brandon Staley's supposedly a defensive guy, and the Chargers are terrible on defense. That's Bill's strong suit. So we don't need him to mess with the quarterback that much. What they need to do is fix the defense, which is what Bill is known for.
You can go to Washington. And then also the other thing about the Chargers that people aren't talking about, you want to go to Washington where you got to go and play the combination of Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, or Tommy DeVito, whoever the hell they're running out there, Dak Prescott, and then like those quarterbacks in the NFC East, or do you want to go and have to win your division? You got to beat Patrick Mahomes twice.
I don't know. Patrick Mahomes has one touchdown in the fourth quarter all season.
Are they going to win the AFC West?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just asking you. Are they going to win the AFC West?
I'm giving you like with Justin Herbert and a better defense, I would take a younger quarterback with some upside. I wouldn't be afraid of it that they couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes. They're not going to win a division every year, and if they just have to fix their defense.
If you go to Washington and you go to the NFC East, a division that has not been
with Sam Howell
over the last 20 years.
Well, how come he's not beating these teams? You said there's no quarterbacks, but they're not winning any games. If it was so easy in the NFC East, how come they're not winning?
How come the Commanders aren't winning?
Yeah,
because Ron Rivera's asleep at the wheel. That was the premise of the whole segment.
No, but my point is, you got Sam Howell.
That's why they're a sleeping giant. That's why. That's the whole point.
I don't believe that I'm going to pick Sam Howell if I'm Bill Belichick.
Then don't. And in 18 months, move on from him. He's on a rookie contract. You can do so. But if you want to move on from Justin Herbert, you can't.
Why would you move on from him? The guy can play. It's just a matter of they need a better defense. They gave up 41 points at home to the Lions. That's why they lost. Justin Herbert put up 38 points at home and lost. Who puts up 38 points at home and loses?
Herbert. All I'm saying is if you want to go and change your legacy, the way, especially the back half of it, go to Washington, turn that thing around. It's a sleeping giant. They got all the resources in the world. They got a division that's a lot easier to win, division that gets all type of attention, and then you also don't have to go up against, I don't know, the best player playing in the NFL right now.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to the NFC East where the Eagles went to the Super Bowl last year. The Cowboys win 10, 11 games every year, and I'm going to Washington.
You just told me how the Cowboys don't do anything.
No, but they don't do when it matters, but they still win 10, 11 games every year.
And before the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, I mean, look, they've been good the last few years, sure.
What do you mean? They won a Super Bowl not that long ago.
They've been good the last few years. Yeah, they got it with Nick Foles and their backup quarterback and Doug Peterson, and that ended so well. Doug Peterson is coaching in Jacksonville right now.
Yeah, but they still won, though, is the point.